What's good, y'all? Rich Sosa back in the building with another banger, man. So first things first, before we go ahead and get started, I just want to go ahead and say, as always, thank you, God, for giving me another opportunity. And man, y'all already know what y'all need to do. Be sure to hit that sub button if you're new. And go ahead and turn on post notifications, as well as hit that like button to join the Rich Gang family. And above all that, be sure to drop a comment down below when complete. Now, I do not want y'all to just drop any comment down below. What I want to know today is, where are you tuning in from or coming from? Whether it be the state, city, go ahead and rep your area. I'm going to go ahead and start it out. I'm coming from California, and I just want y'all to know as well that I am coming from the West Coast. So I want to know if I have at least one person, one supporter in here who is from the East Coast. Go ahead and let me know right now in the comment section. But as y'all can see by the looks of the title and your screen, today I am bringing y'all the top 3 most rare and broken power forward slash center slash big man builds on NBA 2K22 Next Gen. Now, this first build that I got coming at y'all today gonna be made with the height of 6'9". Then once it comes down to the weight, I'm gonna go with 210 and a 7'2" wingspan. Now, once it comes down to what we're gonna be looking like for the finishing stats, what I'm gonna go ahead and do, bring up that close shot to a 93, driving layup to an 80, driving dunk to a 79, standing dunk is going to be a 90 with an 88 post control, and that's going to bring us up to a total of 30 finishing badges off rip. And the Hall of Fame badges that we are unlocking are definitely going to be very useful. So as we take it a step further into what we're going to be looking like on the shooting end of this build, I'm going to go with a 3-point shot of 82. Mid-range is going to match it exactly. And then I'm going to bring up the free throw to around a 70. And total, that's going to bring us up to a total of 25 badges for the shooting alone. Now, let's go ahead and get into what we're going to be looking like when it comes down to the speed with the ball. So, I'm bringing this up to a 66. If you want to go anything higher, that is all based off of your own preference, but I'm telling you, the way that I'm bringing y'all this build today is definitely going to be the best way that you can make it. Not only because I'm bringing it to y'all, but because of the versatility that comes with it as well. So, for the playmaking, a 66 speed with the ball. As for the ball handle, I'm going to go with a 75 and a 76 pass accuracy. Now, from here, this all really comes down to how you want to make this build, but when it comes down to what we're looking like on the finishing, shooting, and the playmaking side of things, I truly believe this is the absolute most balanced way that we can go about making this build. So, last but not least, we definitely got to go ahead and get into what we're going to be looking like on the defensive end of this build. So for my liking, what I'm going to go ahead and do, make sure that the interior defense is upgraded at least a little bit. With this build being at 6'9", you definitely don't want to get bullied down below. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is go with the 70 interior defense. Then when it comes down to what we're going to be looking like on the perimeter, I'm going to go with the 77. And then finally, once we go ahead and get into the steal, block, and the rebounding, I'm going to go with a 60 steal, 65 block. Then once we go ahead and get into the rebounding, I'm going to bring up my defensive to an 82, and automatically that's going to bring up my offensive to a 52 for a total of 16 badges. Now for the physicals, I'm maxing out the speed, acceleration, go with a 75 vertical, then a 97 stamina. And I'm telling you, this is definitely the only way that I would consider to make this build. Very well rounded when it comes down to the main 4 stats of the finishing, shooting, playmaking, and the defensive, but when it comes down to the physicals, that's what's really going to take this build over the top. So with the takeovers, the post scoring, playmaking, shot creating, and the sharp shooting, something that really excites me is the shot creating and the post scoring takeover in the same exact build. Now honestly, what that's going to do for me is really remind me of an old school playmaking or even a post scoring shot creating build from 2K19. Let's go ahead and check out the build name though, and as you can see, we have made the ankle breaking back to basket big build. Now we got 2 more builds to get into, and what I have to remind y'all about right now, we are already about to be more than halfway through this video, and none of y'all, or at least some of y'all I should say, have not even let me know in the comment section where y'all are coming from. I'm gonna just say my area code is the 831, so just to go ahead and let y'all know where I'm coming from, go ahead and do the same thing, man. Let's go ahead and interact with each other. Since you are here, we are literally communicating. I'm talking to you and y'all are listening, and then with the comments y'all can come back at me. So that is why I really want to go ahead and just be interactive as possible that I can be with y'all. So let's go ahead and get into this second big build. I'm gonna go with the height of 6'10". When it comes down to the weight, 215 and a 7'2" wingspan. Now, once it comes down to what we're going to be looking like on the close shot, I'm going to bring up this to a 90. Then, once it comes down to the driving layup, I'm going to go with the 75 there, as well as the same as for the driving dunk. Now, when it comes down to how we're going to be looking for that standing dunk, a 99, y'all. So this build is definitely going to be very toxic on the inside, especially if you take this build to the 1v1 court. Now, the post control a 68, and what that's going to do is bring us up to a total of 68, which means we get 28 badges in total. Now, for the shooting, I'm going to go with an 82 midi, 82 three-pointer, 71 free throw, and that brings us up to a total of 25 badges here. Then, once we go ahead and get into the playmaking, we cannot forget about what we're going to do on this side of the floor. So I'm going to go with a speed with ball of 62. As for the ball handle, what I'm liking is going to be a 75. In total, we do get 9 badges so far. Now, if you want to, you can definitely go ahead and upgrade the pass accuracy. I know that for a lot of people, this is primarily one of the main stats that they like to go after, because everyone, and everyone I mean that, wants to get that bullet passer badge. So I'm going to bring this up to a 70. That's going to give us silver bullet passer with a total of 16 badges here for the playmaking. Now we got the rest left over for the defensive end. As for the physicals, I did go with a 74 speed, 71 acceleration, skipped over the strength, go with the 75 vertical and a 93 stamina. Then once it comes down to the rebounding, 82 defensive, 64 offensive, 94 block, 72 steal, and then once it comes down to what we're going to be looking like on the defensive end. So just remember, any of the stats and the way that I bring the making of any of the builds today, and not only today, but any video in general, be sure that you're making the builds solely based off of what you feel comfortable with, as well as what you're going to be able to do when it comes down to the making of this build. I want these builds to be able to make sure that I'm making them just as comfortable as you would be able to and use them for your own playstyle. So what I mean by that is, do not go ahead and copy and paste exactly what I bring to y'all if you personally do not feel comfortable with the setup that I'm bringing to y'all. So honestly, just know that I appreciate y'all, and I thank y'all. To those of you who have made it this far, you are really in store for a great second build coming at y'all. And then the third one is only going to continue to get even better. But this is pretty much what the build is looking like. 28 finishing badges, 25 shooting, 16 playmaking, and a total of 19 defensive. Then the takeovers, we get the shot creating, sharpshooting, playmaking, and the rim protecting. Whichever takeovers you pick, remember, you are getting a plus 10 boost to both areas of this build. So paint intimidation, double takeover is what I'm going with. And as y'all can see, the rare center offensive oriented 5, and I love the comparison of Karl Anthony Towns. Now we got one final build left over for y'all, and I'm telling you, I probably saved one of the best builds for last. This is easily one of my favorite build names in all of 2K, but also, more importantly, when it comes down to the way that we're going to be able to make this build, in my opinion, this is going to be another very toxic big man build. So let's go ahead and get into it. As you can see, we're going to be very versatile with the height of 6'9". Then, once we go ahead and get into the weight, I'm going to go with 215, but check out that wingspan, y'all. Going with a 7'7" maxed out wingspan. If you want to, you can definitely go ahead and try to change the numbers, but this is the way that I like making this build. So let's go ahead and take it a step further. So as you can see, once we go ahead and get into the finishing, already a good amount of badges to be using on this build, being 25. And honestly, I really always gotta go ahead and be sure that I'm being real with y'all. When it comes down to making not only this build but any build, there's going to be multiple ways that we can go about making them. So if you feel like you want to go ahead and change some of the attributes or anything, whether it comes down to the height, weight, and wingspan, position, I mean anything, be sure to do that after we have created the build name together, because afterwards, then from there, you're going to for sure have the build name one, and then secondly, you're going to be able to find out which adjustments you need to make in order to still maintain that build name, or if you want to change it. But as you can see, we're going to end up with a total of 25 finishing badges when it comes down to this build. And then also, once we go ahead and get into the defensive end, a total of 27 badges here. Then I really like the fact that we are going to get a good amount of shooting badges, being 20. And then finally, we can use the rest for the playmaking since we did upgrade the physicals. 75 speed, 72 acceleration, 75 vertical, then a 94 stamina. And honestly, right here, even on the defensive end, 27 badges is super solid. Now, for the playmaking, max out that speed with ball. Then from here, you can make your own adjustments if you feel like taking any extra attributes off of a certain stat or category. That's all going to be based off of your own playstyle and what you feel comfortable with. For me, if you wanted to, you can definitely lower the MIDI just to get more playmaking badges. And this is somewhat of a version that I feel like is going to be more versatile than what I originally showed y'all, because we still have an effective mid-range and three-pointer, and even more so on the playmaking. I'm going to let y'all choose the takeovers, but man, y'all already know what y'all need to do. Be sure to hit that sub button if you're new, turn on post notifications, hit that like button, and drop a comment down below to join the Rich Gang family. Now for the takeovers, I like the slashing, of course, also a defensive one, but you can also speed boost if you do go with the playmaking. And as y'all can see, we have created the rare two-way slashing 5. And again, man, thank y'all for the support. Thank you, God, for this opportunity. And with all that being said, I got one last thing to say. Rich out.